Rogue284 here with my first ever rant. This particular one was brought on by an article I had read in the new paper while I was at work. The article was about how Barbie, the doll, was a bad role model for young girls. Now, this isn't a rant about me defending Barbie, it's about voicing my annoyance with the continuing war of neurotic paranoid parents against things that are fine left alone or blown out of proportion by them. No pun intended. These same people who got rid of Cookie Monster and got Bugs Bunny and Disney cartoons edited because they thought their kids would jump off a cliff or some crap. Anyway, I rant on. Some recovering anorexic built a life-size proportional model of a Barbie during her recovery, basically what Barbie would look like if she were real. A 39-inch bust, 18-inch waist, 33-inch hips are the proportions, but her head is seriously tiny. Doesn't look like the doll to me. In addition to telling us her proportions, the article says she's also blonde, white, ageless, and is the ultimate consumer. Is this the role model you want for your own little girl? First off, blonde? There are lots of girls who dye their hair blonde, and I doubt it's because of the doll. It's no mystery that the less common natural blonde color of hair is more popular than the more generic and commonplace brunette and black. So if you wanted to sell a doll, why not make it have blonde hair? Also, girls dye their hair blonde because that's what all the other girls do and because that's what models in magazines do, not because of the doll. Second, white? What's wrong with being white? Besides, blonde hair looks terrible with any other skin color, I think. Not being racist, just what I think. Besides, aren't most dolls white? They make dolls in other skin colors too, it's just not their name Barbie. Lucky for them. I'm sick of political correctness like this, where people are offended because the best-selling doll in the world is white. That's like saying everybody should be offended that many of the best athletes are black, or that the best cartoons are made in Asia. It doesn't make sense. Next, ageless? It's a doll, of course it's not going to age, you idiots. Also, it talks about her being the ultimate consumer. What's that supposed to mean? It's a doll, it doesn't buy anything. It gets bought with whatever props and clothes it comes with. Barbie just mirrors what people are actually doing. Check your own habits before you criticize a piece of plastic. Also, a role model? Since when was a lifeless object a role model for kids? All the doll is going to do is whatever the kid makes it do. It's not autonomous. If you're afraid the doll is too much of a role model, then you're clearly not taking enough time to properly raise your child. The article then seems to compare the 2 Barbie dolls sold per second and the fact that eating disorders are the most common chronic illness among female teens. So what? That's like comparing the people starving in India and the food fights in various school cafeterias around the world. Someone from the National Eating Disorder Information Center goes on to say that Barbie represents the ideal of what girls should aspire to be. However, fans of the toy argue that she represents the modern career woman and is therefore a positive influence. However, the Netic person counters by saying that her success is not linked to hard work and schooling, but to her physical appearance. First off, there are lots of cases where good looks get you places you want to go, the most obvious one being the modeling industry or becoming a secretary. And there are lots of thespians out there that can't act to save their life, but they're good looking so they still get big movie roles. I'm sure a lot of people can testify to this sort of thing as well. You see it in school all the time. Second and most importantly is that everything is left to a child's interpretation. Barbie is just a doll, a toy. So it's the child playing with it that decides how she achieves her goals, what actions she takes is up to the child. It's a concept foreign to experts called imagination. I think so-called experts often neglect their own experiences as a child when coming up with this stuff. The main point of the article is about Barbie's influence on young girls. Eating disorder experts are concerned that unrealistic proportions of toys like Barbie are damaging to their self-esteem and may contribute to anorexia. Grade A bull. That's like saying kids needing glasses is related to trying to use Superman's laser vision, or that anime will make people want bigger eyes. Plus, when did it become necessary to make realistic toys? If they are realistic, then they wouldn't be toys. They'd be models or real things. Playing with a toy tank didn't make me want to go out and rampage through the city, and how many Hot Wheels cars did we wish we could drive in real life? Most, but that's normal when you're a kid. You dream and hope for things like that, but you grow out of it when you're older, and the cruel realities of life set in. It didn't send me into depression, I just moved on, because I knew there was more to life. Unlike the elementary school kids that annoy us while we're playing online. It's important when raising your children to remember your own experiences as a child. This will help you better understand and deal with them. Make sure they see you as a positive influence on their life early on. If you want them to learn right from wrong, you have to teach them. Don't leave it up to a doll or a TV show. If you care about them, you will take the time to do most of that yourself, because you are the greatest influence on your child, and children are imitative. If you smother your child and try to shield them from the world, they'll be woefully unprepared once the world inevitably catches up to them, and that's when they will fall. Hard. You must prepare them, and if a doll is having more of an influence on them than you, then you have no one to blame but yourself. The whole reason the article was written was because they wanted to put the blame on someone else, and that's all it is. People don't realize that raising kids is work. Parents sue TV shows and toy companies because they can and almost always win, and it's someone else to blame rather than themselves, even though they're the ones most often at fault. Anyway, that's all for now. Please leave any comments, critiques, or arguments in the comments section. I would appreciate your feedback. I hope I managed to get some kind of message across. I know Barbie's not exactly the best way to do that, since I sort of never really liked Barbie for you, but you know, it's a common ground and it's something we all recognize. I thought it was a good starting point, and I was inspired to do this. Well, anyway, hopefully I'll be doing more of these things, and I hope you enjoyed or were at least mildly entertained by this. Thanks. See ya.